drinking it? You licking the whipped cream, buddy? Tasty stuff? David receives the news. David sat between the two gates, and the watchman went up to the roof, over the gate by the wall, and saw a man running toward the city. The watchman told the king, and the king said, "If he is alone, he must be coming with news." Then the watchman saw another man, and he said to the king, "The first man runs very like Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok." The king said, "He is a good man. He will be coming with good news." Ahimaaz called up to the king and said, "All is well." Then he fell on his face before the king and said, "Blessed be the Lord God, which has delivered up the men who lifted their hand against my lord the king." The king said, "Is the young man Absalom safe?" Ahimaaz said, "When Joab sent me and the other messengers, everything was in great confusion, and I do not know what was happening." The king said, "Go and stand aside." Then the other messenger, Cushi, arrived, and he said, "News, my lord king, the Lord has avenged you on those who rebelled against you." And the king said to Cushi, "Is the young man Absalom safe?" "Bless you, my love." Yeah, go get toilet paper out of here. Cushi said, "May the enemies of my lord the king and all that seek to harm you be as Absalom is now." The king was greatly distressed, and he went up to the chamber over the gate, weeping and saying, "O my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would God I had died for you, O Absalom, my son, my son." So now the death of David. Now King David was old and stricken in years. They wrapped him in clothes, but he lost strength daily. And the end of his life drew near, and he knew that he must die. He sent for his son Solomon and charged him, saying, "I go the way of all the earth. Therefore you must be strong and show yourself to be a man. Keep the commandments of the Lord your God and walk in his ways. Obey his statutes and abide by his word, as it is written in the law of Moses. Then the Lord will fulfill his promise that he made to me, saying, If thy children take heed to their way to walk before me in truth with all their heart and all their soul, there shall always be male children for the throne of Israel. You know what I have endured. Be wise, therefore, in all that you do." And in his last words of the people, David spoke of his qualities of kingship in these words: "The God of Israel spoke to me, saying, He that ruleth over men must be just, ruling in the fear of God. And he shall be as the light of the morning, when the sun rises as the morning without clouds, as tender grass springs out of the earth in clear sunshine after rain." So David slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David, after reigning over Israel for 40 years, 7 years in Hebron and 33 years in Jerusalem. And Solomon sat on the throne of David his father, and ruled over his kingdom. Now we're going to go to the period of the prophets. That was technically the Torah part. Now we're on to the Nevi'im.